We claim that we need to be empowered. We need to be powerful. We need to be strong. But most women go to the gym and kill themselves on a treadmill or on an elliptical to try to be frail, right? That's hypocritical. You can't claim to want women to be empowered and support powerful, strong women when you want to rip your body apart because you need it to be thin and frail. It's Evie here. Welcome to EML Radio, where we are always talking truth. All of those things you need to hear that nobody else is willing to say. Hello and welcome back to EML Radio. Today we're going to be discussing women supporting one another. Whether or not it is authentic support or whether or not that support is actually attached to a lot of conditions. So before we dig in, let me just give you this disclaimer. I typically don't like to discuss women's issues, men's issues separately because, in all honesty, I just think it's unnecessary to separate gender out. And I guess that's probably because my experience in life, right? That's what I have to bring to the table. And for me, I never viewed myself as less than or not equal to any man. And if I had to be completely honest, I have probably been treated shittier by females throughout my entire life than I ever have been by males. But because I'm a woman, and I believe we're on the wrong path to empowerment. That's why I want to speak on this. And I actually have a lot of personal experience from all the way back to like when I was in the 7th grade, when women kind of started to treat me shitty. So I have a lot of insight and personal experience to share on this very subject. So let's just start by saying I believe that a lot of women, if not the majority of women, choose to pretend that they're authentically supporting one another, when in actuality, that support has a lot of conditions attached to it. Okay? So let's backtrack to way back when I was in 7th grade. Okay, so here a little bit about my background. I was raised by a single mom from the time I was 10 years old. And I have 4 older sisters, but the next youngest is 8 years older than me. So although I have siblings, I really was kind of raised like an only child. But anyway, so after 6th grade, I left Catholic school and I went into public school. 7th grade, I just like bloomed. So went from no boobs to a size D pretty much overnight. And I was kind of the new girl in the school system, so I got a lot of attention. Okay. That didn't serve me well. So I got too much attention from boys for such a young age, and a lot of negative attention from females. Right? So here I was, the new girl, I'm blonde, I got big boobs, right? Good at sports. Most females didn't like me. Fast forward all the way through my high school career, and honestly, women treated me like total shit. So they bullied me, especially the older girls. I had a good group of girlfriends in my grade, but for the most part, girls were brutal to me. We're talking egging my house, toilet papering my yard, putting shaving cream in my front yard as big as you could see the word slut, right? Because after all, senior boys liked me when I was only in the 9th grade, right? Women didn't like that. So I think a lot of my views are shaped by those early experiences. And then I just have to tell you, I'm not really wired as like a girl's girl. I do not enjoy going on shopping trips, and I don't enjoy going out for big get-togethers and luncheons. Now, I almost kind of wish I did enjoy that stuff. It probably would have made my life a little easier, but the fact is I'm just not wired for that, right? I have really strong masculine traits, and with a lot of women, that just makes the connection difficult for me, right? It's no fault of theirs, no fault of mine. It just is what it is, right? But I want to broaden that out to what's going on in the world right now, right? So we're living in a time that women are really fighting for empowerment. Now, we're not going to talk about empowerment today because that's a whole nother topic, and I'll give you some of my thoughts on how I think we're doing that all wrong too. But today, I just want to point out some examples of how women pretend that they're supporting one another, but yet there always is this kind of thought process or ceiling, have you, that women want to put on one another, that we're not just really hoping each other shine completely and authentically. We got to make sure that each other don't shine too much. Now, I get tons of feedback from you guys. Some people raving reviews. I love what you have to say. Other people are like, I don't agree with what you say at all. Awesome. I love that, right? Because that's what I'm hoping to do. I'm hoping to strike up some good conversation and get people used to communicating again openly, without judgment, without having to stomp out of the room or block each other on social media. We need to have these open discussions. So having said that, keep in mind, I'm using the word women, but I'm not generalizing. This may not be how you behave at all. But I will tell you, in a lot of my experiences, still to this very day, women put a lot of conditions on one another when it comes to providing our support, right? So here's kind of a laundry list of how women conditionally support one another, right? We claim that we need to be empowered. We need to be powerful. We need to be strong. But most women go to the gym and kill themselves on a treadmill or on an elliptical to try to be frail, right? That's hypocritical. You can't claim to want women to be empowered and support powerful, strong women when you want to rip your body apart because you need it to be thin and frail. See how that's hypocritical? You got this standard of what the physical body should look like that has absolutely nothing to do with what we're claiming we want women to be. Powerful. Right? You're not powerful when you have absolutely no muscle and you're running yourself to death on a treadmill. That's anything but powerful. So we want women to be strong, but yet we're critical if they're too strong, right? Because they can't look bulky. Right? No women want to look bulky. That's a condition. Right? So we say we're supporting women in their bodies and want them to be strong, but yet we're putting these conditions on them. But you have to look a certain way. Right? And then how about we want women to be super intelligent, right? We want women to be educated, but don't be too smart, because if you're too smart, then you're going to make me feel uncomfortable. God forbid that someone be smarter than you, because that makes you uncomfortable. Or we want someone to be opinionated. Speak your mind, be strong, share with the world what you think. But, only if you agree with my belief system. I've got a perfect example there. So, it's probably been over a year ago now, where I was featured online by a magazine that is designed for women over 40. Now, I didn't reach out to them. They reached out to me, saying that they loved how strong and muscular and powerful I was. It was very empowering for women. So they featured me on their social media account, let me do an Instagram takeover, right? They just loved me. Well, a couple of weeks after that feature, I wrote an article that was about women's empowerment and how I believe we're on the wrong track, that we don't empower ourselves by tearing other people down. And what happens? They don't like that message. So unfollow. Now to this magazine, I don't exist. So think about that, right? Because I have views that were not aligned with theirs, then their so-called wanting to empower women by showing them someone powerful like me, that had a condition on it. It was conditional upon the fact that I had to agree with everything that they believe. Ladies, that is not going to serve us well. Another perfect example is, it's always entertaining to me. I look at all my insights and who's looking at my social media and who isn't. And I actually, I'm very blessed and very thankful for it. I have a pretty equal 50-50 male and female following. But it always just kind of makes me giggle whenever I post any pictures that are me in a swimming suit, right? That 90 to 95% of the likes or comments are from men and not from women. Think about that, right? And these aren't risque, right? They're simply me looking strong and proud of the body that I honestly have worked my ass off for over a decade. Now, why aren't women chiming in on this? Why aren't women saying, wow, Evie, you look great, strong and powerful. Love the example you're setting. Maybe it's because I look a little too good. Some of you may be going, that's super arrogant. And honestly, I don't really care because it's not arrogance. It's taking pride in my body. And as women, we're out there beating the street saying that we should be proud of our bodies. But yet, if someone shows their body in a way that we just don't agree with, or it makes us uncomfortable because maybe we're not taking as good a care of ourselves, then no. Don't show your body. Don't have a strong, powerful body. It's not working, ladies. The Super Bowl halftime show, which is a whole nother topic, but it's worth bringing up here. Now, whether or not, from a risque standpoint, you liked it or not, doesn't really matter. Okay. For me, I actually have pretty conservative views and I didn't love it, right? I thought Shakira completely knocked the cover off the ball. And I honestly just felt like J-Lo was reaching. She was just reaching too hard. It seemed choreographed. Okay, so that's my opinion on it. But the fact is, couple of things here. For one, for all of you that were saying, that is a disgusting display and I was embarrassed to have my teenage or my young daughters in the room, let me tell you this. If women on a Super Bowl halftime show are your daughter's role models and that's their biggest influencer, you have a lot bigger problems than a halftime show. Let me tell you that, because you are the biggest role model for your children. And for two, that's a perfect example of we had conditions put on those ladies, right? They're both, let's get real. 43 years old for Shakira and 50 for J-Lo. Come on. That takes serious dedication, serious discipline, and hours upon hours of training and taking care of your body. Now, if you just sit around all day, watch TV, you don't get to say. You don't have an opinion on those women. For one, your opinion doesn't count. And it doesn't count because you're not actually in the trenches doing the shit that they're doing. Like it or not, you don't get to say. And for two, can't we just lift these women up and say, yeah, maybe I wouldn't wear that kind of outfit. Doesn't matter. Keep it to yourself. Who cares, right? They chose to wear that. And the fact is they were both unbelievably talented, strong women who have dedicated their life to developing the level of talent that they have. But there again, two women that probably before the halftime show, you liked them, right? Everybody's been talking about J-Lo because she looks like an unbelievable bomb. She's 50 years old. Look at her, right? But she didn't quite behave or do exactly the way we thought she should have behaved. So again, we put a condition on her because she doesn't fit within what we say she should act like. It's not right, ladies. Totally not right. If we want to build each other up, if we want to be taken seriously, especially by men, right? We cannot be supporting one another with a whole laundry list of limitations. Right? If someone makes you feel uncomfortable, what you need to really be doing is thinking about, why are you so uncomfortable by that person? Right? If you see pictures of me on my social media, oh, which one? Gosh, maybe I'll even share that on the video portion of this podcast, right? I shared a photo quite a while ago of me, like it was like a boudoir shot that I was a boudoir photo shoot that I was taking. And honestly, I've always had the tiniest, skinniest legs. And there's a picture that I chose to share a while back of me sitting in a chair and my legs up. And I shared it because my hamstrings are actually visible and there's definition in my hamstring. And just so you realize, especially for a female that was naturally born with skinny legs, to develop like visible hamstring muscle, it's a pretty hard thing to do. I was so proud of the way my legs looked in that because of all the dedication, hard work, and sacrifice I've made over the years in order to develop that kind of muscle. And you cannot believe the slew of just critical bullshit comments I got. Why? Oh, why did you have to post that? And it was because people chose to over-sexualize the picture because I have like a thong bodysuit on with my leg up. Like, yeah, I have a bodysuit on, people. Like, get your head out of the gutter. I simply posted the picture because I thought my legs looked beautiful. So see how that works? People do it to me on a daily basis, right? I want Evie to speak her mind. I want Evie to look strong and powerful and set an example for people, right? I want to watch Evie lifting weights, right? I want to listen to Evie speaking her mind. But she has to do it within these conditions, or, you know what? That's just not right. So I'm just going to leave you with this truth today. If you want to authentically empower and authentically support one another, ladies, then you have got to remove the conditions from your support. You do not have to agree with everything each other says, but if you are going to truly support someone, you've got to take off the conditions of whether or not they fit within the box of exactly the way you would do it. And ask yourself, when you get uncomfortable by what someone says or something you see, ask yourself, why is that striking such a chord with you? What is it? Because it actually is something within you. It has absolutely nothing to do with them. Do not continue to put out one another's lights. We are here to make each other brighter, and we are here to support one another to be the very best authentic versions of ourselves. And lastly, if people are constantly putting conditions on you, you need to free yourself from those conditions. At the end of the day, what matters is that you like you. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. We'll see you next time.